Hi guys, Leah Freeman here with your web weather, and we're going to talk about where we've been the past couple of days. We're on day 7 of this heat wave, and now we are going to start to see our temperatures cool off just slightly, ever so slightly, every couple days. So we'll start now with, I want to give you guys a look outside real quick from the top of our tower cam, and looking towards the mountains, you can see how bad the air quality really is right now. We've been unhealthy for sensitive groups for multiple days now, and you can really just tell where that layer of smog is, where it meets the blue sky. So our mountains hard to see from our camera here, and the air quality it's not looking like we're going to get much improvement over the next couple of days as temperatures continue to stay hot. But today it was slightly cooler. We got to 106 for our high. Notice the record 110. So we're far away from that, but we're still well above the normal of 93 this time of year. So as of right now, we are seeing our temperatures cooled ever so slightly for Tehachapi, Bakersfield, Delano compared to this time yesterday, but obviously 6 degrees warmer for Edwards Air Force Base. So our temperatures right now, it's about 7, just after 7 o'clock, and we're still seeing plenty of 100s out here. 100 in Delano, 104 for Bakersfield, 102 for Maricopa, just dropped to 99 at the base of the Grapevine, and we're even seeing still 80s for Fraser Park, Tehachapi, upper 90s for Lake Isabella, 108 in China Lake, and 105 in California City and Ridgecrest. But you can see we are getting a little bit of a breeze in those areas. Wofford Heights at 20 miles an hour, gusts up to 20 in Mojave, 18 for China Lake. So we are getting a little bit of that breeze from the west. That's why we're seeing our temperatures cool just a little bit for the South Valley. But again, our air quality tomorrow still going to stay unhealthy for sensitive groups. We really need a good amount of onshore winds in order to kick out that dust or the smog that we have sitting over us, and to give us a little better air quality. Keep in mind the UV index still going to be very high tomorrow, not in the extreme category, but still, that is still obviously very high. We want to make sure that you have a lot of sunscreen if you're heading outside. If you're hanging by the pool this weekend, make sure you're continuing to reapply. So in terms of our numbers for tomorrow, dropping off a little bit more. We're 103 tomorrow for Bakersfield, 104 for Arvin, 100 McFarland, and up towards Delano, low 100s as well. For the mountain communities, we should about hit right around 100 for Lake Isabella, 90s, upper 90s for Kernville, down to lower 90s to Tehachapi, and then upper 80s for Bear Valley Springs, Fraser Park, Pine Mountain Club. So still warm there, but the warmest area will be California City, Ridgecrest, that are about 110, 112, and that's where we will continue to see an excessive heat warning that will last until Sunday night. The rest of us will see that excessive heat warning expire this evening, late tonight, but we will be under a heat advisory from Saturday noon until Sunday night. So keep that in mind. Our temperatures obviously still hot this weekend, and we talk a lot about people and how to stay safe, but keep in mind your pets as well. Make sure you're keeping your dogs off old pavement and asphalt. You're using paw protection possibly for them as well. They do make booties for their paws, which can help out. Definitely make sure you're checking their paws regularly for any signs of damage. Their paws can get burned, so you want to make sure that that is not happening. But one way to keep in mind that is to be mindful of the 7-second rule. What this is you basically want to take the back of your hand, lay it on the ground. If you can keep your hand there for 7 seconds, then you know that it's okay for your dogs to walk on that. If you cannot keep your hand there for 7 seconds, then it is too hot, and you want to make sure your pets are not walking on that. And also make sure you're walking during the coolest hours of the day, those being early on in the morning when we hit our overnight low, and our overnight low tomorrow is the upper 70s. So that's right around 6, 7 a.m. Or wait until after the sun sets, once the sun is not out and our temperatures start to cool a little bit into the evening. So cooling continues for us as the ridge of high pressure continues to weaken over the next several days. You notice that trough of low pressure that moves into the Pacific Northwest and Northern California. So we're going to get more northwesterly winds. We're going to get a little bit of cooling, and that'll help us out next week as we will be back towards the 90s. So in terms of our next 7 days, we're hanging on to the 100s, the low 100s the next few days, and then dropping to 97 by Tuesday for Bakersfield, and staying in the upper 90s most of next week. The Kern River Valley, a little bit breezy for the next several days, 15 to 20 mile per hour winds, and hanging on to the low 100s as well for Saturday and Sunday, dropping to the 90s by Monday. And for our new mountain forecast, Tehachapi is going to be hanging on to 92 Saturday and Sunday, and then they will drop as well into the 80s for next week, while Fraser Park stays in the 80s, but they'll drop from the upper 80s to the lower 80s. So that is a look at our week ahead, and hopefully you're looking forward to that slight cool down that we're going to get next week. But make sure you're still, taking all the precautions precautionary measures to make sure you are staying heat aware and heat safe. Make sure you guys have a great weekend.